Today, we're incredibly excited to host a conversation with a truly inspiring JPIS alumnus who's not only excelled in stellar academics but has also left a mark through her outstanding extracurricular achievements. Her journey has been nothing short of remarkable, blending her passion for debate, her creativity as a podcast host, and her innovative contributions to agriculture.
This multifaceted approach of hers has led her to one of the most prestigious institutions in the world, Stanford University. Beyond her accomplishments, she's here to share valuable insights into a skill that we all strive to master: time management. Without further ado, let's break the suspense. It's none other than Diya Bansal who's studying product design currently.
So my first question to you is, what was the top activity on your activity list, not including your student council position? It can be any major extracurricular activity that you were involved in during your time at school, one which you think played a significant role in your acceptance to Stanford. How did you come up with this idea? And what obstacles did you face in your journey towards it? Yeah, I think after, like, aside from student council, the first activity on my Common App was debate. I was really involved, like, very heavily involved with debate. And I don't think I just came up randomly with the idea. I think it started with MUN in eighth grade. It just segued into debate as something I thought it was more intense in MUN, something that was more fast paced. And that's why I was kind of inclined to that more. But also, like, as I debated more, I found it to be really rewarding. Ninth, I just did it for fun. That was the grade where I was like exploring a lot of different activities. It wasn't really that in depth, it wasn't serious. But like after ninth, like in 10th, I remember that's when I got into the national camp as well. Um, After that, I think it just skyrocketed from there, my interest in debate. And like I've always found it to be a really rewarding activity, like something I would do for fun, even just like on my own, watching debates on YouTube or like rebutting arguments on my own. And for me, it's just not about like arguing a point, it's more about the thrill of like engaging with diverse perspectives and like thinking like quickly on your feet. Also, I feel like I've had like such a great time debating that I plan to continue it in college also. Also, what I love the most though is the teamwork that is fostered and the intellectual stimulation that comes with being a part of a debate community. It's genuinely way more intellectually engaging than people think it is. You also learn a lot more than just the topic that you're debating on. For example, like I really got into news and like reading a lot of current affairs. That was my weakest point in debate. So I really made it a point to build on that. Yeah, that was my top activity.
Thank you. I think next question would be like you obviously have your own podcast, The Learner's Lounge. Seeing those interviews to get ready for this one, I would like to ask you who's the person that you enjoyed interviewing the most and what was the best takeaway that you took from them?
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy that helped you in this. Um, I think all of them were really, really insightful, but one in particular, I would say Sarthak's interview, it really stuck with us. I think that was the point where we really enjoyed Learners Lounge as beyond just, okay, we have to help people, we have to put out this information, of course, but also for ourselves. I think after that interview, also, I mean, we really enjoyed that off camera. We had like a 1 hour conversation after the interview was over, also. I mean, we could upload that, we have it recorded, but yeah, that was really fun. Also, Sarthak, I think, spoke a lot about how to conduct yourself in college, how to conduct yourself in professional environments, how to manage your time, how to balance a lot of activities together. That was something that I've always struggled with, also. And so I found that really relatable. Also, I think everyone like has obviously watched his YouTube videos. I
Yeah.
have as well. So interacting with him in person really reflected that as well. Um, Also, one, I mean, the key takeaway is kind of boring, but like he told me at Princeton, he's doing product design with like computer science and engineering together. I'm going to be doing product design at Stanford more towards the design side. And I think that really solidified it as a viable option that I could do at college. So, mm. Sarthak's podcast is one we also saw before this interview. So, my next question is reflecting on your successful college applications to Stanford. Could you share your approach to preparing for the application process? what tips or advice do you think would you like to give for aspiring students who are looking to apply to competitive universities like Stanford? Okay, so I think I did not have an approach. I was very not organized in the way I went about high school. I just took things as they came, honestly. I think that I know this sounds very cliche, but just do what interests you and like take that forward, obviously, as you progress in them. I think ninth, like people just starting out with high school or like even middle schoolers, they're honestly just doing activities. Don't do it for the purpose of exploring, just do it because you want to do something outside of school. And then when you really do those, you really find the activities that you enjoy, and I think continuing that forward is something that really helped me also. um, as for advice, first off, I would say really trust your counselor. Do not try to go, they have way more experience than you do with college applications. They really know a lot more. And I mean, yeah, you could not like an idea that they have, but honestly, they really do have a lot more experience than you, and you should just completely trust them. I think one thing even I used to say to me after we met, after I got to Stanford, like to my parents also, was that I was very receptive with feedback, and I think I learned that really early on, that just trusting him with the edits he gives. So that would be one advice. Second advice would be very consistent with your work. I know this also sounds like something that would always make sense in every scenario, but like especially with the essay writing process, be really, really consistent. Be like do your work regularly, it'll really pay off. I don't think there was a single day that I did not work on college apps since I think August, and yeah, I think that really paid off. Hmm.
Thank you. Next, we have if you could go back in time to 11th grade, starting IB again with all the knowledge that you have currently, not just academic, but also what you've learned and experienced throughout the years, what all would you like to implement? And also, if you'd like to change anything you did do during your grade 11th and 12th, what would that be?
I wish I took Hindi. No, no, no. But okay, it's no, Spanish is good. But I think, okay, so as for changing, I don't think I would change anything. I think everything that all the experiences that I've had were just truly, honestly made me the person that I am today. I don't really think I would go back and smoothen out those mistakes that I made because they were essential to what I've learned. Um, but also, one thing that I really struggled with was time management. I really, really struggled with it. And I was a very scattered person. I never made a schedule. I always thought, yeah, it can just be done. Like, yeah, I was never really very organized with what I did. And I think sorry, I think Ayush sir, and my father both like hammered home this point that make a schedule. Every time I went to sir to either discuss an activity or like discuss, even when we were shortlisting colleges, he was always like, put it on a Google calendar, make a doc, write all your dates and tell me by when you're going to do what. And I think this is something my dad did as well. He made me write down, like literally write down all the chapters I had and how many hours I was going to take to study those chapters. So I mean, now that I've come to see it, it is really useful, and I'm trying to get into habit. I'm trying to get into the habit to um, like schedule more and manage my time more efficiently.
Okay, so the next question we have is, can you take us back to the moment you saw the confetti on your screen when you opened the portal? How did you feel and how did you celebrate the news of getting into Stanford?
Hmm. Yes, so I mean, starting from the beginning, I could not sleep 3 nights before. I could not. I was literally shaking with anxiety. I don't know. Um, and I mean, like, after I submitted the application, like a week before, I was fine. Like, I was like convincing myself that Georgia Tech is a place that I would be really, really, like, it is a really amazing school. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's my second choice. I EA'd there as well. I was just like, I know Stanford's not gonna happen. Georgia Tech, I'll be really happy. That's my dream school now. Ye to chhodi do. But I mean, yeah, I could not sleep. So like when I opened, of course, my dad was on call. He was out of town, and then my mom was with me. I was trying to screen record, right? So it was supposed to come out at 5:30 a.m. My screen record was not working, and I needed to screen record this. So I spent like 5 minutes trying to screen record, trying to make it work. And then, I mean, notifications were ringing, everyone. I saw Ayush sir's message also. And then honestly, I just flipped the phone, screen recorded, and then I didn't wait much after. As soon as the recording started, I opened and it was so embarrassing. I was on the floor, I was crying, my parents were screaming. It was so chaotic. I called up Ayush sir. Meanwhile, like 10 other calls were ringing on my phone, parents were calling up relatives. It was very chaotic. It was so surreal. I honestly still can't believe.
Well, that celebration was worth it, but IB was stressful. So, how did you manage the balance between academic excellence and involvement in extracurricular activities? You also had very time consuming subjects like VA and physics. So, how did you allocate your time to have a well rounded application?
Yeah, I think like as I said before, also a schedule really helped me. But one thing that was more important was being selective with what I chose to be involved in. I think initially I explored a lot, but when I knew that there were a few areas that I was really, really drawn to, like debate and art, I tried to focus on those. So I hopefully get better at them and learn something as well. And some of the activities I did really helped me with school as well. So as for like balancing activities, the stuff I did outside of school, I really carried away what I could from that into school also. I think, for example, if I did debate, I learned something about current affairs that would help me in my GP class. If I did an art exhibition, I would learn techniques that I can implement in VA as well. So that was something that really balanced well together.
Thank you. Now we are moving on to basically a different segment, kind of like a rapid fire question, one word interview. So we'll ask you a question and you only have one word to answer it essentially. So I'll start. An obvious question to start with, how do you feel about getting into Stanford?
Very surreal. Can't process.
Okay. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say college application process under Ayush Sir and Akrit ma'am?
Um, Hard work, but not stressful.
What's your favorite spot in school to focus at?
Student lounge boardroom one.
What do you think is a passable score on the SAT?
There's no one word answer to this. But I mean, it depends on your school.
Top schools.
I would say a 1450 plus is good.
What's your best memory at JPIS as of now?
Um, Very recently, celebrating everyone getting into their EDs in our batch.
Who is your favorite teacher at JPIS yet?
No, I love all my teachers. Kitty ma'am.
I bet on this.
Last question. Your proudest achievement, not including getting into Stanford.
I would say learning to work in a very consistent, hardworking way.
Thank you so much for taking time and joining us today. I'm sure everyone watching this today found your insights very beneficial. And I'm definitely implementing the time management thing because I do really need it. But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.